how thou didst outshake.
The reign of liberality, O God, thou didst outshake.
By heritage thou didst confirm. Thy heritage thou didst confirm when it was wearied.
Thy heritage thou didst confirm when it was wearied.
In thy goodness, O God, for them, the poor afflicted are.
In thy goodness, O God, for them, the poor afflicted are.
May God bless you all, and may you find peace in his strength. Amen. It pleases me to be able to tell you that we have finally found a ship to join the Speedwell on our long-desired voyage to America.
Amen.
Amen.
She is the Mayflower of London, commanded by Captain Christopher Jones.
Who is making the arrangements, Elder Brewster?
Mr. Martin, who represents over 70 backers of our venture. Oh, I know that Mr. Martin can be a difficult man.
Difficult is a milder description of that hog-jowled pirate than I would use.
No matter. The die is cast. And with whatever doubts and fears we might harbor in our souls, we sail in 3 days upon the Mayflower of London.
What protection shall we have against the savages we've heard so much about?
We've contracted to Captain Miles Standish to handle our defenses. Fear not the savages in the New World, but the savages here in our very own England, who only last month took an honest man, cut off his ears, slit his nose, and branded his forehead with a white-hot iron. His punishment for printing a book.
Oh, there. That's where they are.
They come! The King's soldiers are here. All right. All right, come. Quickly and quiet. Come, quickly, quietly. Walk it out. Come. Hurry.
Break it down.
Here we go.
Up there, man.
There is something you must promise me before we are separated. It must not happen that I be the one preventing our congregation's departure.
I don't understand.
The king's men search for me throughout the land. Should they forbid the Mayflower to sail until I am handed over to them, promise me you will do just that.
I couldn't do that. It would mean the gallows for you.
Stop him!
Captain.
Bennett, isn't it?
Aye, sir. George Bennett. I sailed with you to Norway 4 years ago.
Yes, and raped the dockmaster's daughter, as I recall.
I'd take, sir. I never ask. It's a point of honor.
You're a brutal heathen of a man, Bennett, but a fine sailor. Otherwise, I wouldn't spit upon you. Good morning. I'm Captain Christopher Jones. Benjamin White, bosun. I see some... Oh, Charles Heel, ship's doctor. I see some of you who have sailed with me before. You will remember my Mayflower is a sweet ship. After this voyage, she will be a sweet ship no longer, because this time I am not running taffeta and satins from Hamburg, or hats and hemp to Norway, or wine and cognac from France. No. When this voyage is over and done, the Mayflower will stink, and you will stink with her.
Sir, may we know the cargo and the destination?
Yes. The cargo is Pilgrims, and the destination is America.
Church people, sir.
That's right, Bennett. Church people. Bible thumpers and psalm singers. Doesn't it make you wish to vomit?
I went to sea to escape such men as them.
Men, Bennett? Did I say men? Men, women, and children.
Why could we not have been told this before we signed on?
Why? Because had you known it, you would not have signed on. You would have run the length of England to escape it. I needed a good crew. I have a good crew.
I'll not be part of it. Let's sail with a cargo of puke stockings.
Every man of you will abide by the rules and regulations of an English ship at sea. The first and most important rule being that I command and you obey. Deck is yours, boss.
Aye, aye, sir.
When will your passengers come aboard, sir?
Tomorrow morning, if His Majesty doesn't grab them first.
Will you pick it up, please, and put it on top? What is it?
Garden seed.
Kind of garden seed.
Beans?
The puke stocking is a bean farmer. A bloody psalm-singing, God-fearing, puke-stocking bean farmer going to America.
How intelligent can we be, I wonder, to trust our lives to those that hate us so?
I spit on these people. Any sign of Brewster? We're never going to fit everything on that ship.
John, can you give me a hand with that trunk?
Oh, of course.
How you feeling, Rose?
Fine, Miles, fine.
Take the trunk on board now, then I'll come back for you. This is John Alden, Cooper.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Alden.
Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Standish.
lovely warm package for a long winter's night.
But you are married, Miles?
Yes. Yes. I certainly am.
Ship riding at the ready, Captain Reynolds?
Aye. But why are His Majesty's troops present?
Because His Majesty is fond of visiting harassment upon those of his subjects who displease him.
You haven't been forbidden to sail?
No, not yet. Now here. We will hold firm on the 42nd parallel and drive to the New World in the straightest line possible.
I'm thankful you've not chosen the Columbus course.
I wouldn't dream of it, sir. Columbus sailed exactly 1,000 miles out of his way. He had no idea where he was going. He didn't know where he was when he got there. He had no idea where on earth he had been when he came home. So, Captain, have you ever sailed to America?
Years ago, with a cargo of supplies to the Jamestown colony.
I haven't. For years now I've wanted to. You see, when I think of the New World, I always think of the old maps.
Old maps, sir?
Yes. You see, when the map makers didn't know what lay beyond the horizon, they used to print the legend, "Here there be dragons."
And there never were dragons.
Wrong, Captain. There always were. And there always are.
There you are, child.
Hello.
How do you do? John Alden.
You know my name?
Your expression when you looked at me on the dock was strange.
I did not mean it so.
I was fearful.
Fearful of me?
Fearful that you were afflicted by some infirmity of heart. I'm relieved to know that you're not.
If I was afflicted, it was only by your grace and beauty. Might I know your name?
Priscilla Mullins.
Give me a hand here, Alden, will you?
All married men without wives, as well as unmarried men and grown boys, will be quartered together up forward. Unmarried girls will be in the aft section. All others will go to the hold.
Captain, there are 18 married couples.
Yes?
What I mean to say is they'll be wanting some privacy.
Yeah. They may have their privacy in America, Mr. Mullins, after the savages have eaten their meat and gnawed their bones. There is none to be had on the Mayflower.
Some of them have only been married a brief time.
Self-denial is a virtue, sir, even I imagine for a Christian. But should any of your newly married couples suddenly discover themselves to be in a fit of uncontrollable passion, they may feel free to crawl beneath a blanket or a piece of sailcloth. Anything else, Mr. Mullins?
2 of our women are pregnant. Will there be a doctor on board?
Mr. Mullins, please, let us understand one another. I care not a whit about your women and their problems. I'm being paid to sail the lot of you to the New World. That is all I'm being paid for, and that is my only interest. My doctor happens to be a ship's doctor, and all he knows about babies is where they come from and why.
If the women go into labor,
then you had best find a midwife among your women, Mr. Mullins.
Very well. Here's your passenger list. It numbers 92.
92. Plus a crew on a ship 90 feet long. And you speak of privacy.
Step carefully, Elizabeth. Carry precious cargo.
Stephen Hopkins, there. My wife, Elizabeth. Child is our daughter, Damaris.
You're assigned to the hold, Hopkins.
Right.
I'm Christopher Martin. This is my wife, Marie.
You're assigned to the hold?
A hold, indeed.
I represent the merchant backers of this venture, sir. Over 70 prominent businessmen, without whom there would be no venture.
To the hold, sir.
I am elected governor of these people, and therefore require more comfortable accommodations than a ship's filthy hold.
You will go to the hold, and that's the end of it. Now move on, or get off.
Captain Miles Standish, in charge of the colony's defenses. My wife, Rose. To the hold.
Dr. Heel.
Sir.
Follow them to the hold. Find out what ails that woman. If it's contagious, I want her off my ship.
Aye, sir.
Push that truck over this way, please. Careful now.
Excuse me. I think this basket is ours.
How long has your wife been ill?
Several years. But her illness is not contagious.
Your wife shouldn't make this voyage, Mr. Standish. It's going to be wet and cold.
He's right, Rose.
Doctor.
I wanted to leave her at home, but she wouldn't hear of it. I'm a soldier, you see. Since our marriage, I've been away from Rose more often than I've been with her. What was I to do, Doctor? What am I to do?
Well, keep her as warm as possible and give her as much nourishment as she can take.
Sign of him? No matter. He's aboard that ship, I know he is. Search it, every inch of it.
Under what pretext you board my ship, sir? Without even by your leave?
I'm empowered by His Majesty James I to search your vessel. Show me your passenger list.
Is that an order or a request?
You may call it a request, Captain, if it pleases you.
That's fine. Who might you be searching for?
The criminal separatist William Brewster, who persists in preaching sedition and writing tracts and pamphlets against the royal will.
Well, sir, you will not find that name on that passenger list, and I will have you know that I am a loyal subject unaccustomed to traffic with criminals.
His name may not be listed, sir, but his woman's name is Mary Brewster. Where is she?
If she's not on deck, she's in the hold.
How is your health on this fine day, Mrs. Brewster? Where might the elder William Brewster be?
In his grave.
You lie.
My husband died. I buried his poor body and commended his harassed soul to God.
You lie. Show me where your goods are. Are these your goods? Give me the key.
say is true.
What?
I lied. 'Tis a sin to lie. My husband is not dead.
You will tell me then where he is, and God will forgive you.
My husband is a cruel man.
Yes.
He beat me.
Yes.
Humiliated me in unspeakable ways.
Yes, yes.
I left him.
Then tell me where I might find him, and punish him for your sake.
I left him in Holland. I left him in Holland.
You lie again. Everything you people say and preach and think is built upon lies. Lies and deceit. You would have me believe, would you, that your shepherd is sending his flock to the New World without him? I know he's aboard this ship. What would you say if I told you now that not one of you will sail until he has been given to me? You separatists. You are proud without learning, presumptuous without authority, zealous without knowledge, and holy without religion.
We are merely poor, God-fearing people.
You are dangerous and malicious hypocrites. And England is well rid of the lot of you.
You must remain below deck until we have sailed, William. The King's men have left the ship, but they're still watching us. And there may yet be trouble.
Go then. And give our people God's blessings before they sail.
How long will this take, Mr. White? Shall I not miss the tide?
I can't rightly say, sir. I've never been in a church.
On this day, we are trusting in our Lord as we never have before. Trusting him to guide us with his hand on that wild ocean. Trusting him to protect us with his wing on that far shore. Trusting him to bring us together in that new world called America. Let us praise him in our hearts and souls, for he is our only hope and our only salvation. Amen.
Amen.
Is that it, Mr. White? Is that the end?
It would appear so, sir.
His brevity is commendable. We cast off.
Cast off, you deckapes! Hoist the fire!
Shake out the forecourse.
Take out the forecourse!
Loose the main gasket.
Loose your main gasket!
In Amsterdam there lived a maid. She was the mistress of her trade.
A-roving, since roving's in my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
Her hair was black, her skin was white. She slept all day and worked all night.
A-roving, since roving's in my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
You'll do a dance for half a crown. For 3 times more her skirts come down.
A-roving, since roving's in my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
I placed my hand upon her knee. Says she, young man, you're getting free.
Way anchor.
Way anchor.
Roving's in my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
I placed my hand upon her thigh. Says she, young man, you're rather high.
A-roving, since roving's been my ruin. I'll go no more a-roving with you, fair maid.
Rudder hard to port.
Rudder hard to port.
Mariners, stand by your gear. Every quartermaster to his own station. Check the yard for starboard tack. Yes, mop bucket headed.
Hello, Priscilla. I was sorry we could not talk longer yesterday.
I was sorry, too.
It is going to be a long voyage.
Yes, they say it is. And an arduous one.
I do not know very many of these people.
Packed so closely together. I dare say you could know all of them by this time tomorrow.
I do not think I would fancy knowing them all. Only a few.
You sound as if you've already selected those few.
There is one I should like to know better, particularly if there is not one she already favors above all others.
I know not who you mean. But if that was so, could you not be her friend?
But not so full of heart as otherwise. May I talk with you again?
Aye, John Alden. You may feel free to talk with me at any time.
To the lot of you, bloody puke stockings. Keep your snot-nosed sniveling brats out of our way on deck. We're mariners, not nannies.
The baby will arrive within a month.
The movement of a miracle.
Indeed it is. Time for sleep now.
When you were with child, did it frighten you to know you had a living being in you?
No. It made me joyful, because it was a gift from God.
But not knowing whether it was male or female, or what its mind and temper might be when it arrived. Not knowing whether it would live happily or unhappily.
Woman's duty is to give it birth and sustain it until it becomes its own man or woman and charts its own life.
I'd like to ask you many things.
Ask me.
I confess I don't know how. But there are things that make me blush. Being a woman is a confusing thing, isn't it?
Yes. But a most pleasurable thing also.
I must go to my quarters now. Good night, Mrs. Brewster.
Good night, dear.
I doubt there are half a dozen men on board who've ever fired a musket, much less a cannon. They'd welcome another soldier or two, but they couldn't afford it. I'm going to find you a nurse, Rose.
I will be fine, Miles. And we do not know these people.
I'll go to him it was that hired me, Mr. Cushman. He may know of someone.
If I must have a nurse, Miles, go first to that young girl.
What young girl?
The one who was just here. She has a lovely, helping countenance. I would like to know her.
Enter.
On behalf of our congregation, I want to thank you, Captain, for undertaking this voyage.
Who are you, sir?
William Brewster, sir. Elder of the Leighton Church. We had much difficulty finding vessels and masters willing to sail to America so late in the year.
William Brewster? Object of the search now being conducted by every sheriff and bailiff the Crown can muster?
That same one.
How did you get aboard my ship?
The important thing to me and to our cause is that I am on board.
Well, the important thing to me, Mr. Brewster, is that I not lose my ship and my livelihood because of the likes of you.
May I sit down?
You board my ship without my knowledge. You place my life and limb in direst jeopardy, and you ask me to sit down?
I am aboard your ship, sir, because my own life was in direst jeopardy.
I don't believe you quite understand, Mr. Brewster. Do you have any idea of what the king could do to me if he discovers you aboard my ship?
You need not shout.
This is my ship and these are my quarters, and I will bloody well scream if I choose to.
I have remained out of sight until we were well underway. Now you can either accept my presence with a modicum of Christian charity, or have me fed to the fish.
Let it be understood now, Mr. Brewster. I accepted this voyage for two reasons. One was the money, and two, I have long wanted to see the new world before I retire. I hold no affection for you separatists on board my ship. You are cargo, and that is all you are. Now, if it were not for the fact that we are already 1 week out to sea, I would not hesitate to turn this ship around and deliver you to the king myself.
We will pray for your immortal soul, Captain Jones.
Get out of here. Go on, get out.
John. What is her name? Her? The young lass with the lovely green eyes. The one I saw you with.
Priscilla Mullins, if she is the one you mean.
Will you introduce me?
Why?
Why what?
Why do you want me to introduce you to her? You have a woman. I have none.
It's nothing like that, lad. My wife needs a nurse.
But why Priscilla Mullins in particular?
What can I tell you, lad? My wife asked for her. In particular. Who knows a woman's mind?
Tomorrow morning, then.
That's so, lad, John. Tomorrow morning. Right after musket drill.
After what?
Musket drill. Must be someone to stand off the savages besides myself.
Are you convinced the savages in America will be hostile to us?
What could a savage in America be towards us but hostile? It's their land. They haven't invited us. Tomorrow morning.
The people's faith and trust is the only real strength that any leader has.
What concerns me most is that I know no more about the future than all of these who sail with me into it.
Yes, but they believe in you.
I am not a nag or a complainer, William. I want to say that first of all.
But you've come to nag me with a complaint.
I have, and I admit it. And it's uncommon behavior on my part. My complaint is Christopher Martin. That merchant swine whom a majority have elected governor of the ship for no sane reason that I can fathom. Not only does he treat all about him with disdain and contempt, but he's taken twice the space he needs.
I'm not surprised. Mr. Martin is a most disagreeable man.
You've made yourself quite comfortable, haven't you, Mr. Martin?
You call this comfortable?
None of our other people have taken so much space out of consideration for their fellow passengers.
What has that to do with me?
You can make the voyage in half the space you've taken.
But I won't. We have our birds, our cats. I was elected governor of the people on this ship, sir, by virtue of the fact that I helped raise the funds to float her. More than £7,000, more than all the wealth of your peasants combined. Therefore, I think it fitting that I should have more space.
Will you not prevail upon your husband to change his mind, Mrs. Martin?
My husband and I are of one mind, Mr. Brewster. We never argue.
Never, Mrs. Martin.
Never.
I heartily congratulate you. Most marriages are not so blessed with such tranquility.
Ready? Hey! Fire!
What is your name? Stefan, what is your problem? I have shown you a dozen times how to use this musket. I'm not comfortable with muskets. A musket is not for comfort, Mr. Hopkins. A musket is not for liking or loving. A musket is to be cared for like a lady and held like a whore. A musket is for using. So try to show a little more interest, won't you? Your family's life may depend upon it. All right. Once again. Remove the match from the serpentine with the left hand. Left hand, and hold it between the fingers. With the thumb and forefinger of the same hand, hold the barrel upright and pour your charge of powder down the muzzle. You're going to continue this for as long as this voyage lasts, until I am confident that you can shoot an enemy before he dies laughing.
What is it like in the New World, Mr. Brewster?
Oh, they say it's a fine, fair, beautiful land, Joseph. Land of rivers and forests without end.
Be there devils in the New World?
Oh, no. There only be devils in the hearts of men.
Should we live there forever?
If God so wills it.
Should we die there?
Well, we must all die somewhere. But dying is a part of living.
Miss Mullins. Miss Priscilla Mullins, I should like to present Captain Miles Standish. Miles is in command of our colony's militia.
How do you do, Captain Standish?
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Miss Mullins.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've never known a military man.
I can remedy that in short order, if granted the opportunity. You care to join our drill tomorrow, Miss Mullins?
Surely you jest, Captain Standish.
Surely I do. It would be a crime against nature to place a musket in hands like yours. Now, John here, on the other hand, is perfectly suited for handling a musket. Right, lad?
I dislike firearms, Miles. I dislike violence in any form.
Oh, come now, John. I know you're here as our cooper, but even the most beautifully made wine barrel in the world will do little to protect our women.
Or was there not some question, Miles, that you wanted to ask, Miss Mullins? Something about your wife?
Are you in pain, Captain Standish?
No, I'm fine, Miss Mullins.
Better than fine, one might say. I asked John to introduce us because my wife is ill. Her name is Rose, and she's needing a nurse.
Captain Standish, are you asking me to attend your wife?
That was my intention, but I confess I do not know how.
Lead me to her.
You mean you will?
How could I say no? Helping others is Jesus' own example.
Enter. Thank you.
Grows colder by the day, sir.
Yes, it's the Arctic winds. And I suspect that this last week will prove to have been our best. Thank you, Mr. White.
Yes, sir.
Good night. Good night, sir.
You have had your allotted quart, have you not, sir?
I'm thirsty. I want another quart.
Sir, the rule is 1 quart per day per passenger.
Young man, I'm Christopher Martin, the elected governor of this vessel, governor of yourself for that matter, and I'm thirsty.
Sir, the rule must be adhered to if our provisions are to last. Sir, the rule is 1 quart per day per person. And do not ever lay your hands on me again.
What is your name?
His name is John Oldham. More importantly, my name is Miles Standish. And the lad is a friend of mine.
What do you mean by, more importantly?
It's just a figure of speech, John. Just a figure of speech. You're not dangerous enough, John. People respect a dangerous man. Especially women.
You're talking of Priscilla Mullins, are you not?
Did I mention a name?
Problems, Captain?
So much more than a mere problem. A sudden breather came roaring down upon us now. We go to the bottom with all hands.
Mr. Brewster? Care to join us?
What is it? I've been on the pumps. They're barely keeping even.
You have leaks?
None that we can detect. What we have, sir, is water, the general weakness of the ship.
What weakness do you speak of, sir? The Speedwell was reconditioned in Holland at great expense.
That was before I became her master. Her new masts are too large for running in this heavy swell. They work the ship and her strained timbers open ever wider and wider.
What you propose?
Well, being of sound mind and having no wish to drown, I propose to abandon this voyage and return to England.
What say you? The Speedwell is the cornerstone of our plans. She was to stay with us. Without her, there's no hope of fishing profits. No way to get messages back to England to return the sick. Without the Speedwell, our isolation in America will be complete.
Captain? Oh, I've said all I have to say. It's my opinion there's no hope whatever of the Speedwell reaching America. In fact, we'll be lucky if she stays afloat for the 2-week sail back to England.
I tell you, sir, we were assured of her soundness.
Then, sir, you were dealing with either an idiot or a thief. If what Captain Reynolds tells us is true, and I'm certain it is, only a fool would attempt to sail the Atlantic in a ship that is so wet and so weak.
Would you attempt to complete the voyage alone, Captain?
I have confidence in my ship, my crew, and myself, but it is not the Mayflower that is in question now, Mr. Brewster. It is her passengers, and more particularly, their degree of confidence and courage.
Those of us here, as well as those of us on the Speedwell, must make a decision. If we continue on, we will be completely isolated, with but one hope. And that hope will be that our one small candle on that forbidding shore might, in the name of our God in heaven, light 1,000 lamps of freedom. God in his infinite wisdom has seen fit to test us once again. Captain Jones and Captain Reynolds await your decision.
How many my distresses be, O God?
How many my distresses be, O God?
But thou a shield about me art, O God.
But thou a shield around me art, O God.
How many that do rise up against me?
How many that do rise up against me?
I to Jehovah with my voice called.
I to Jehovah with my voice called.
You have your answer, Captain Jones. And in truth, I expected no other.
For thousands ten of folk I will not fear.
We continue on. Even so, there may be those among us who wish to return to England. This will be the only opportunity they will have. Those aboard the Speedwell who wish to continue the journey will change places with those of us who wish to return. Consider carefully, and let me know your wishes.
I promise I will take the first passage I can find in the coming year. And we will meet again in America.
Robert, the king thirsts for your blood as much as he does mine.
Let there be no further argument, William. It was not me they were searching for aboard this ship at dock. Without you, there would be no voyage. For it is you our people look to and follow. And it is upon your presence that their survival will depend.
I'm sorry. I am truly sorry that any must return.
I never questioned the will of God, and neither do you.
You leaving us, Mr. Cushman?
The Speedwell will have to be sold, Captain, and her accounts settled without backing. Then, too, those who are returning will have to be seen safely home.
I see. I thought perhaps it was the Atlantic that didn't agree with you.
Truthfully, sir, it is yourself that does not agree with me.
You lost 13 from the Mayflower, will you? And gained 23 from the Speedwell.
One more and we sink.
Am I the only one here not deaf? Stop it! Stop it! You're here! By damn! I'm on from midnight to 4, and by damned I need my sleep. If I hear so much as another whisper, I'll throw you overboard. All of you.
Aye, the children mean no harm. We've been at sea for 2 weeks now. There's so little for them to do and so little room to do it in.
I'll throw you over, too. To the hungry fishes.
I think not. Quiet, children. You see, the mariners who have deck duty at night must have the sleep. So perhaps it'd be better if we found somewhere else on deck to play. All right, now. Go on and try to be less noisy. Go on. Captain, could you prevail upon those sailors to give up their profanity for the duration of the voyage?
My men are profane, Mr. Brewster. Profanity is their natural speech.
Their lewd and foul language is upsetting to our congregation.
I bloody well tremble for your congregation.
Sir?
Are you asking that my men's speech be limited, restricted?
That is precisely what I'm asking.
Mr. Brewster, my men go to sea for many of the same reasons that you and your people are going to America. One of these reasons is the freedom to think and speak and believe as they please. Yet you ask me to impose upon them exactly what you yourself are in flight from.
Unrestricted freedom is chaos. Unrestricted freedom is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Ah, yes, Mr. Brewster, that is true enough. But the restriction of freedom should rightfully begin with actions, not words. Punish the man who murders, not the man who merely threatens it. You see, the answer lies in plum pudding, Mr. Brewster.
Plum pudding, Captain.
Plum pudding. I have threatened to murder my own wife, but I am pleased to report that she is plump, rosy-cheeked, happy, insofar as a woman can know happiness, and in excellent health. I will no doubt threaten to murder her again, for she does prepare the most horrid and detestable plum pudding in all of England.
Why do you study me so, Mrs. Standish?
There's a fine, rare character in your face, Miss Mullins. Yours is a face that even a woman feels glad to dwell upon. Do you enjoy being a woman?
How am I to answer? I've no other feeling to compare with her. I like myself for what I am, and I'm happy for how I feel. Our elders teach, 'tis better to give than to receive. But I do so like to receive. Receiving is also a way of giving, isn't it? For giving and receiving is the heart's commerce between those who love.
You have answered my question, Miss Mullins. Truly you have.
Surrounded by an enemy like outmanned and outdone. There was rain, mud, and lightning and thunder, and the enemy was massing to attack us in strength the following morning. And our backs were to the river.
How did you ever escape?
I'm coming to that, Priscilla. There was tremendous thunder and lightning, not to mention the sound of enemy artillery. How did we escape? Under cover of noise. See, we had with us a company of woodcutters, so I put them to work chopping trees in the forest. And under cover of darkness and noise, we floated away on logs down the river. Now, you imagine the enemy's surprise the next morning when he found not a man of us waiting to be slaughtered.
Excuse me.
He's telling us stories of the many battles he's fought in foreign lands.
That must be entertaining.
Yes, it is. Quite entertaining. Have you always been a soldier?
Aye, it always will be. Why, my life...
Mr. Brewster requires your presence aft, Miles.
In a moment, lad.
There seemed to be some urgency.
Duty calls, ladies. Excuse me.
I hope we will hear more of your wonderful stories before this voyage ends, Captain Standish.
Aye, lass, that you will. I have tales enough to last this voyage, and more. Never much fancied being interrupted, John.
Especially when performing for the ladies.
Oh, so that's it. You're jealous?
Jealous? No. But I do not like the spectacle you make of yourself telling outlandish stories of your heroism.
John, do you have any idea how many women I had known before I settled down with Rose?
I cannot admit to having very much interest in the subject.
Length and breadth of England. Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Holland, Denmark, and Norway. They number in battalions.
Even if this boast be true, why do you punish my ears with it?
If I wanted that last, John.
Off we go, lad.
Deadly calm, is it not, sir?
Aye, Captain Standish. And uncommonly warm. Have you inventoried the arms, our shot, and our powder that were transferred from the Speedwell?
Aye, sir, I have.
Do you judge what we now have to be adequate for our defenses this coming winter?
Aye, sir. So long as the savages value life more than death.
Ah, that is the question. So keep your powder dry, Captain.
Aye, sir.
You getting worried, Moses?
I beg your pardon.
You've delivered them from Egypt, but how will you part the Red Sea?
I can smell it coming. We've already had 3 weeks of weather better than we expected.
It won't be a mere squall, Mr. White. It'll be a big one.
Sit down, Captain. I'll fetch you a plate of food.
Thank you.
She is pretty, is she not? Miles, you can admit that she's pretty. It'll be the least you've done over the years, my love.
Over the years. What is your meaning, Rose?
I've never said anything to you. But do you think I could live with you all these years and not know you?
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do, Miles. For I know you as well as I know my own face in a mill pond. You are a fair and lusty man, Miles. I knew that when I married you, and I was prepared.
I thank you, Miss Mullins.
Good night.
Good night.
She's not as pretty as you were when you were that. But I mean...
I know what you mean. And it grieves me that I've not been a proper woman for you in a long time.
It's going to be a brutal one, Mr. White. Aye, sir. All passengers below! All passengers!
going for the doctor, Mr. Brewster.
Get below deck, you bloody fool!
No, a doctor! We need you, a doctor in the hold! My wife is...
What happened? There will be no doctor, Mr. Brewster. God, for goodness sake, some of these monsters have hunted us.
Elizabeth Hopkins has given birth to a son. What a place. What a time to be born.
Thank God. And I thank you. What's your name? Oceanus Hopkins. American.
Mr. Alden. What is the state of our provisions?
Poor, Mr. Brewster, sir. Quite poor. We've been at sea for 5 weeks and should only have used half of our provisions. And already we are low on many items. What beverage we have is stale. And see, sir, grubs and weevils. And I have not told anyone, but there's rat offal. And the roaches, sir, they grow more numerous daily.
You might find a sieve, Mr. Alden. The grubs and the weevils may be separated from the bulk.
I understand that you have many sick, Mr. Brewster.
Aye, many sick, Captain. And one man dying, in my estimation. 1 minute he perspires heavily, and the next he shivers with chills. He complains of terrible pains like fire in his arms and his legs.
Scurvy, sir. I've seen it many times.
Are there any others like it?
Many are becoming so. This is the foulest smell I've ever breathed. Use your fellow human beings. That's all you can think to say.
What do you want me to do? Shed a tear for them?
Does not the voice of God so much as whisper in your soul?
Tell me, sir, is it not your belief that your God wills all that happens?
Yes, it's our belief.
Then this is his doing. And I still strongly object to the stench.
Captain! How long do you think this storm will last?
Till it ends, Mr. Brewster. Till it ends.
Many believe we will never see America. We believe we're going to die.
Yes, I know. I do not like to think about it.
Do you believe we're going to die?
I do not know what to believe. But to die now would be such a waste. There's so much I look forward to doing.
Great things, John.
Natural things, Priscilla. Marriage, someone to love and be loved by. And someday, children, God willing.
If the sea came in upon us now, if the hull gave way, and the sea poured in upon us, what would you do?
I suppose I would do the only thing left to me.
do it.
I would hold your hand.
Mr. Brewster, my orders were that all passengers remain below. We are paying passengers, sir, and we will have a word with you. Check yours, Miss White. Aye, sir.
If this ship is about to sink, let us run for the nearest land.
Run? What are you talking about? We cannot run, my friend. We're at the mercy of the sea.
If you are discussing our fate, why was I not consulted? Included. We are going to perish. I demand that you turn back.
Who's this?
I demand that you turn back. I tell you, sir, the ship is coming apart at the seams.
What do you know of this ship, sir? Or of any ship for that matter? What do you know of her foremast, mainmast, mizzen, or bowsprit? What do you know of her 400 ropes that weigh 8 tons? Or of her heavy flax canvas sails, the strongest chain armor? I suggest, sir, that you know nothing. But I suggest that you keep your stupid mouth shut. Now get out of my cabin. Go on, get out. Now, as I said, until we get under sail, we are at the mercy of the sea. When we do get under sail, wind and weather would be more favorable for a run back to England, or perhaps we could run for Africa or the Canaries. But the Mayflower is still solid underwater, and that's what counts. She's a solid, dependable old girl, and I will swear by her for a few more years yet. If the weather eases, we could melt some pitch and cork the splintered deck, and that will keep some of the water out. And even if the cracks do open, there is no special danger in that, as long as she isn't strained with too much sail. Can it be that your trust and your faith is no longer in your God?
Sail on, Captain. Sail on.
He die of? I know not. Regis?
I don't know.
Did he complain of any ailment?
The puke stockings. Could it be that God who struck him down?
Come on, bring him up on deck.
You intend to dispose of this man without a word? What do you mean without a word? Before burial, it is our Christian custom to offer prayers over the deceased. Today you offer prayers for the living, Mr. Brewster. What you and your people have experienced thus far stands as nothing to that which awaits you. A brief prayer is all I ask. He wouldn't appreciate it. I commend Seaman George Bennett, loyal subject of His Majesty King James of England, to the sea, which he declared to be his home. Over with him.
closer away from death. I read nothing of it in your face.
That is because I'm thinking how much happier I am here than I would be in a rocking chair in Surrey, watching the sunset. What would life be if we were all dumplings and a warm fire? That is not living. That itself is slow death. There is no challenge. Nothing to make the blood run swift and hot.
Standish! Mr. Standish, the water's rising here at the pot of barrel.
Go. I will stay with her.
Priscilla. You remind me greatly of myself when I was young and healthy and pretty.
You're pretty still, Mrs. Standish.
Have you ever known a man, Priscilla?
Known?
Have you ever lain with a man? You must forgive bluntness in one who is soon to leave this world.
I am a virgin, Mrs. Standish. And like all virgins, I suppose, I am consumed with a vast wonder about those issues I know nothing of.
You will be wanting a man in the new world. You will need one. My husband has great courage and skill. He was born a gentleman, you know. Miles is a man of honor. He has a noble and generous nature. It is true that he is rough, but he is kindly, too.
Why do you speak to me of men? And then tell me about your husband? It's almost as if you're wanting to give him to me.
I cannot give him to you, Priscilla. But I can recommend him. Most highly.
Priscilla, are you well?
Very well, John. Mrs. Standish needs something to drink.
How is Mrs. Standish?
I think she will never be well again. I'm sorry, but that is all I know to say.
Something bothers you? What is it?
When she is dead, she wants me to take her husband.
She said that?
In so many words.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Nothing at all? I mean, could you not have told her about us?
What would I have told her, John?
You could have told her you favor me.
I would never say anything that might hurt her.
When I asked you if there was one you favored above all others, you gave me to believe that you wondered the same about me. Well, I took heart from that.
Why are you angry with me?
I am not angry with you. I simply do not understand why you could not have told a woman of Miles Standish what has transpired between us. Where have you been leading me on?
I have not led you anywhere. In truth, it is my leader I am in search of.
Miles Standish is a leader. Can it be you are entertaining his wife's wishes?
I will entertain what pleases me, John Alden. And best you remember that.
beam. A spare beam! Pick up a spare beam! Spare beam, quickly! Hurry on! Get that beam down here! Turn on! Let go! Get it back down here! Over here! Now stand by it! Come on! Put the beam behind it! Get away! Your ship is finished, Captain.
It very well does, Mr. Brewster. Yes, it does. And you can tell your people that all the plans they can play will not prepare this beam.
Are you not frightened yourself?
I am, sir, for I have no wish to die. But this sea is mine, sir. She is my life, my home. However, it is not with myself that she is angry, but with you and your kind, sir, for you are strangers to her.
The Jack's crew, William. The great Iron Jacks. Perhaps that will do it. What's that? We brought it with us to raise our houses in the New World. Where is it? It's in here, lads. This way. Get those firearms out of this thing, girls. All right, easy under the bend.
Made a decision. Yes, sir? When this voyage is over, I'm going to retire.
Mr. Brewster?
Yes, Captain!
If you or any of your people ever again find one of my men in any way offensive, please report him to me immediately, and I will have that man keel-hauled, branded, whipped, and then shot.
Does that include yourself, sir?
Most particularly.
Now the worst is over and we're still alive. Smile, Priscilla. Can you not be happy at our survival?
Your wife speaks of you often, Captain Standish. And of your future without her.
My future without her?
After she's dead.
Dead?
She has suggested Royal Standish. But I consider you for my own when she is gone. It was love that prompted such boldness. I never dreamed there was a love so strong as the love she holds for you.
I would have a word with you, Miles. I wish to be alone, John. I wish to be alone. So that you can dream of all your women across the earth? Or to think of Priscilla Mullins, perhaps?
You're wrong about what I think.
You have had your eye on her from the beginning.
Yes. She reminds me of Rose as a young girl. Fresh and vital and full of
promise.
Rubbish. Rubbish and more rubbish.
I speak the truth.
And I say the truth is not in you. Do you deny now that you have tried to charm Priscilla? Charm her while your wife lies ill?
My wife is dying. You understand me, John? Rose is dying.
Do you only now realize this? You have known it all along. You have had to have known it. Everyone on this ship knows it. What kind of man are you, anyway? Answer me, damn you! What kind of man?
A weak man.
What?
Weak man. Yes, I've known for months that Rose is dying. For being a weak man, it's only now that I'm finally forced to face it. I've looked at other women, yes. There was never one I could love. Rose was always there when I came home. There was never once if I slept with Rose that I did not awake in the middle of the night and reach out and touch her warm, beloved, lovely body. Just to assure myself that she was there. Soon she will not be.
Was a man. When I was but a wee lad, such as yourself, he was shipwrecked and stranded on an island of Scotland. Call this for me. Take it, lad.
You see, Mr. Brewster, the storms blew us quite far off course. But according to my cross staff, we are now back on the 42nd parallel.
Oh, we are grateful for what you tell us, but it will not solve our people's problems.
We've lost our sheep, chickens, rabbits, everything. What food we have left is barely edible. Well, sir, I'm afraid that is not your worst predicament.
The water's changing color, sir. I've sent the leadsman to take soundings.
Good.
I think you must be wondering the same as I. What our future holds in this wild place.
Have you any idea what you want it to hold?
I might. And yourself. Do you know what you want?
I know very well what I want. Wanting's not always getting. One must search, John, before one finds. And one must plant before one harvests.
I was talking with Miles last night.
Are you going to speak to me now of Miles Standish?
Is there something else that you would prefer me to speak of, Priscilla?
I would prefer you to speak for yourself, John Alden. And in so doing, give thought to the two of us.
When you come ashore, I will be there to welcome you home.
love you, Louis. I cherish you. I always have.
I know.
Well, Mr. Brewster?
Well, Captain,
Are you prepared for your further and greater ordeal?
God will stand with us, just as he brought us safely across the sea.
It'll be a harsh winter. Do you have any idea of how slim are your chances for survival?
I will take your word.
I'll wager that 100 pairs of black eyes are watching us this very moment. For a savage is fond of nothing so much as an Englishman's blood.
Offhand, I would say that the savage has very poor taste.
1,000 people died the first year of the Jamestown colony.
But not all of them.
Pig-headed. You're pig-headed, sir. And I shall be mightily pleased to have the lot of you off my ship.
Will you?
Goodbye, Mr. Brewster.